I'm back on Genesis, and I only have 100 more days to raise an army, complete a buttload of missions, and defeat the Alpha Master Controller. But with me having no time to waste, I downloaded my character on day 100, and HONA was right there with me. If I didn't need her to teleport around the map, I would have definitely put a bullet in her CPU right now. Anyway, I spawned back in at my starter base where my UD and my Rexes were waiting for me. I'm pretty sure I only lost 1 to 2 Rexes in the fight, and honestly, it's not too bad, but I know these current Rex stacks will not stand a chance in the Alpha fight. Anyway, after that, I returned to my base and threw out all my Rexes so that they could start to heal and place the flag I got from my victory. Oh, and also I was wearing the head of the Master Controller.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Moving on, I returned back to the bog with my Bloodsucker to look for a decent Bronto to tame. I had a lot of berry bushes on my pillar that I wanted to harvest to make medical brews, and my theory wasn't exactly cutting it anymore. Anyway, with a little bit of searching, I managed to find a level 156 by the end of the day and spent the rest of the day taming it. Yeah, the Bronto took about a third of the day to tame, but man, it was worth it. Just look how many berries I'm farming in one swing. And the majority of the day was spent farming and making the medical brews. I had basically taken all my stock into the boss fight, and I pretty much used all of them. But towards the end of the day, I crafted something monumentous, preposterous, and quite even lackadaisical. I don't know what any of those big words means, but I now have myself a tech skiff. And I didn't really know how to use it at first. There's a bunch of different controls, and the skiff has different hovering and flying mechanics. Ark's so complicated nowadays. I miss running around the beaches of the island. Now I'm trying to fly a tech spaceship in a simulation in a tech spaceship in the middle of space. Day 1 or 2 also started with me struggling with the skiff. I was trying to pick up my Ankylo, but it kept teleporting on the top of my skiff for some reason. But then I finally got it moving around with the beam of movement. I have no idea what it's called, but it moves dinos. Anyway, with my new skiff flying skills, I took my Ankylo back into the bog and farmed a ton of metal. The skiff has about 10,000 pounds in weight, so I can basically hold all the resources in the game and then some. But after only farming a few nodes with my Anky, I remembered I had a good magma sword back on my base, and let's just say I'll never have a metal problem again. I finished my massive metal run about a third into the way into day 103, and I had so much I couldn't even fit it all in the forge. But with that problem, I took some initiative and moved my fridge to make room for these 3 dedicated storages I crafted. And after that, I took my skiff into the volcano to check for element crystals if they had respawned since the last time I farmed them, and they didn't. I had troubles getting these dudes to spawn in for basically my whole playthrough. Maybe it's just single player being weird and wanting to only spawn the resources if I'm right next to them. I don't really know. But to end off day 103, I started farming stone for yet another base expansion.
Oh yeah.
But to craft stone structures, you also need wood. But with me having my new skiff, farming wood is a breeze. But anyways, you guys have seen me build a million times, so just watch this real quick. I started day 109 by checking the volcanoes for crystals once again, and there was none. Thanks, Ark. Anyway, after that, I crafted myself some more stone structures, but this time it's to tame an Allosaurus. I need a few Allos to join my Rex army in the hunting missions because their ability to do bleed damage really helps out a lot. And after not too long of searching the volcano biome, I managed to trap a level 168x Allo, which was super easy because I just grabbed it with my skiff and dropped it into the trap. But I had to return back to my base before I could tame it to craft more Trank Darts because X Dinos are on 23 scoops of pre-workout at all times and need a bunch of Tranks to fall asleep. But that doesn't matter because I had it unconscious at the end of the day. Day 110, the Allo tamed, and I don't know if it's good or not since I know nothing about Allos. All I know is I need their bleed damage, and I now need to find another to start a breeding pair. Anyway, with me spawning one in, me finding a female Allo, I now have a breeding pair. Also, the volcano erupted while I was taming it. I was far enough away where I didn't have to worry about it, but we all know what happened last time. I have severe PTSD from that moment. Day 111 started with me breeding the Allos and getting a perfect female on my first egg. And after that, I checked the volcano again, but no crystals, so I built a wall to keep babies escaping while I'm killing them. Yeah, that sounded really wrong. And moving on, my Rexes were now awake, so I arranged them in optimal breeding rows, and that sounded way better on paper also. Anyway, I crafted a few more fridges to store eggs in at the end of the day. Going back to killing all those babies, that's exactly what I did in the morning of day 112. And just look at all those levels for my Rex. And after that, I did the Gamma and Beta Kingslayer mission where you hunt down and kill a Brute X-Rex. And I then attempted to do Out of the Frying Pan mission where you collect those little blue points. But when I went to get inside the volcano to collect my last few, it started to erupt, and I don't really want to get caught inside of it when it does. But on day 113, I did all 3 difficulties successfully and got some pretty good shotguns from it. Day 114 started with me doing the Allo and Goodbye mission. And remember folks, I have to do 168 missions total to even start the Alpha Master Controller fight. So if you think I'm doing a lot of missions now, You're in for a long ride. Anyway, I returned to my base and crafted myself some more bullets and a hollow scope for my shotgun. And after once again seeing no crystals to be farmed inside the volcano, I spent the rest of the day organizing my Rexes in the new expansion I made to my base. I can't say day 115 was too much more eventful. I started the day with some classic baby raising before experimenting to see if my magma sword can farm element shards from the crystals. And they cannot. But they're really good at farming stone from them. However, with this scientific piece of data now under my belt, I had an idea that dawned on my peanut brain. I can farm the element shards outside the volcano and make you watch this montage of me farming it. Day 116 and I managed to get myself around 170 solid element from the crystals just outside the volcano. But with that, I basically farmed all the element on the map, so I'm really gonna need the crystals inside the volcano to respawn sooner rather than later. But after that, I hatched a couple aloes and Rexes to replace the 2 that died in the boss fight and spent the rest of the day raising them. Day 117, I bred my Tusos and promptly killed the baby as soon as it hatched. I was trying to get a perfect breeding pair and there was a big gap in the stats between the parents. And I'm assuming you all know what kind of stats the baby got. And after that, I flew back up to my base and began crafting trank arrows. And I know all of you are asking why, because I have a decent long neck with some trank darts. Well, I want to tame a megalodon and you can't use guns underwater. Why did they have to make arcs so realistic? Wait, is that realistic? Can you use guns underwater in real life? Let me know in the comments, but if you blow up or something, you didn't hear it from me. Anyway, I spent the whole day searching the vast ocean until I came across the level 174 towards the end of the day. Day 118 started and the megalodon was basically knocked out already. You see, the majority of the real day 118 was lost because my power went out. So when I logged back in, the world had saved when the megalodon was already high torpor, but I lost all the footage because my power went out. Oh, and also I ruined the shark's taming effectiveness because I was still putting arrows into it when it was knocked out. Maybe the shark could have more of a knockout animation instead of just slightly putting their head down like a flaccid pea. Anyway, I made a quick trip to the bog to get some prime meat for the megalodon and tame it, and it came out alright, I guess. Oh, and I just realized I haven't explained why I need these guys. I need them because they do bleed damage just like aloes, but they're underwater and I can't bring aloes underwater. So basically, I'm gonna need them for hunting missions and for fighting motor. And moving on, I spent some time searching and found a max level female, and she will be mine. Day 19, nothing much happened. I tamed the megalodon and bred my Tusos. And the baby was once again killed because it came out with bad stats. Day 120, I hatched another Tuso and it got the good melee but bad health. I kept it, but I'll never end up actually using it. Hey, and guess what? After doing all that, there's still no crystals in the volcano. And that's pretty much it for the day. I really wanted to get my Tuso sorted out early in this 100 days so they'll all be ready to do hard missions towards the end of the 100 days. Day 121, I bred my megalodons and got myself a little megalodon baby. The parents had basically identical stats because I lowered one of their taming effectiveness and the other one just came out bad. But moving on, later in the day, I did the Gamma one hell of a treasure hunt mission. This is one where you have to search in different areas that lead you to find something and you have to escape before you get swarmed by dinos. And this time around, I had to kill an X-Trike and get its skull. It was pretty easy. Day 122 and my baby a megalodon was now all grown up. And I'm just now realizing I did the one hell of a treasure mission hunt because it gives megalodon saddles, so that's how I have the mastercraft one. And I also did some leveling with my megalodon by killing, and it was very effective. And after that, I did some more squid breeding, which I kept the baby again because I was really tired of breeding them and then killing them. But I'd still later go on to never use these 2 babies. Day 123 was more the same. Chilling at base, raising baby aloes, living the good life. The majority of day 124 was spent in the volcano with my pack of 4 imprinted aloes leveling them up. I don't really know why. I guess I was having a brain fart and forgot that I have a bunch of baby Rexes I could kill for levels. But when I finally did remember about halfway through the day, that's exactly what I did. Day 125, I was organizing my aloes and Rexes. I had about 6 Rexes and 4 aloes that were going to be my elite squadron to take down alpha hunting missions. And all my Rexes had really good saddles, but there isn't a good way to get good aloe saddles on Genesis to my knowledge, so they were all rocking primitive saddles. AKA, they were all going to die. But I was still putting these dudes all right next to each other so I could heal them up with my Daedon. And that's exactly what I did for the rest of day 125 and about half of day 126. The Daedon eats about 4,500 meat to get to full food each time so I can effectively heal all my dinos. The problem is I had to do this at least 10 times to heal up all my dinos, so most of my points were wasted buying meat. I know I could farm it, but it takes a while and I'm already a fourth of the way into this 100 days and I haven't done that many missions. Anyway, day 126 and today is the day. I'm gonna try and do the cheaper by the pack mission and kill the alpha brute raptor. I had had to cancel the mission because my UD was getting shredded. I know I'm supposed to be towards the back, but the raptor picked me out of the crowd and was like, I'm gonna try and kill that UD and that UD only. So my next strategic idea to counteract this minor setback is to tame another UD, then breed them together so I can have an imprinted one. And I'll make sure to stand near the back next time, but 30% less damage taken will go a long way if it managed to get around my Rexes and start attacking me again. And after not too long of looking, a level 168 was spotted and I quickly abducted it with my skiff. Day 127, I knocked out the UD and killed a blue sheep to tame it. Nothing crazy happened, I just thought that blue sheep was cool and wanted to show you guys. Anyway, I bred my 2 UDs when I got back to base, and I had a little baby chicken Rex and spent the rest of the day raising it. I don't think I've ever raised a UD before because it took literally the whole day and I was flabbergasted by it. Anyway, once the UD finally did grow up, I killed some Rexes and put a bunch of health into it, and that's literally it, because it took the whole day. The first part of day 29 wasn't that eventful either. I had to farm a bunch of meat for your mom. I mean, for Dino to heal my UD. But anyway, towards the end of day 29, my UD was ready to go, and so were the rest of my army. And it's now time to finally take down this alpha brute raptor. I did it! All 4 of my Allos and 1 Rex did die though. I expected the Allos to die, but not the Rex, which kinda worries me. But the rest of my Rexes seem to have done alright. I didn't get too much good loot besides a ton of really good pickaxes, which I'll never use. But for the rest of the day, I raised a few more Allos and a few more Rexes, because there's still a ton of hunting missions I have to do. Day 131 started with a quick round of hide and seek to try and get some more good Rex saddles. I only got 1 decent Rex saddle, but it'll do for now. And after that, I dropped some Rex eggs on the floor for the future babies to be murdered for levels. And precisely that occurred on day 132. And even in the midst of killing those babies, I noticed a mutated Rex with slight different color variations. And it just so happened to have a health mutation. And I know only 1 health mutation isn't crazy, but I'm gonna raise a whole new army of these guys because I need the best stats I can get for the boss fight. And anyway, I spent the rest of the day killing babies with my Allos. But with fully leveled dinos, you have to heal them a lot. And since I had 6 Allos needing to go from 5k health to 50k health, I spent literally the entire day healing them. And it went a little something like this if you're interested. Buy meat, give it to your mom, give the data on meat. Fly out a render distance on the skiff, fly back in render, heal the dinos, and then repeat that a million times over. Day 134 and I did the beta web search mission, aka killing an oversized Bloodstalker. I completed the mission, but I nearly got obliterated in the process when the Bloodstalker pulled me off my UD and nearly one-shot me. And I then had to return to my base real quick and repair my flak in case that happens again, because I'm gonna do the alpha difficulty. And yeah, basically all my Allos got to half health and the Bloodstalker only lost like 1/10 of its health, so I had to cancel the mission. So from now on, I think I'll have 6 Allos and throw out only 2 before each fight, because you really only need 1 to do the bleeding damage, but I'll have 2 just to be safe. Anyways, I returned to my base like a sad puppy since I'd failed the fight, rearranged my dinos, and then began raising the Rex with a health mutation. Day 135, I finished raising the health mutation Rex, killed a baby squid, and then bred the health mutation Rex with others. And I got a few more Rexes from a batch with the good health, and the others were quickly eliminated. Day 136 was pretty much the same as the previous. Hatch Rexes, kill bad Rexes, raise good Rexes. Day 137, I hatched a squid egg, and it actually had the good health, and I kept it just because I knew it was possible to get the good stats now. And you also want to know something? There's still no crystals in the volcano. And here is where my rage continues. Day 138, I thought I'd knock out 2 missions, the beta and alpha ice fishing mission, and I thought this would be really easy. I had a nice YouTube video on my other monitor. This would be a nice relaxing day, but it was not relaxing at all. I could barely get any fish to come to my line, and hitting the right letters to reel the fish in is oddly hard, and it took me to the very end of the day to only beat the beta. Day 139, I attempted alpha, but after hitting the wrong key and snapping my line so many times, I gave up and decided to do the beta and alpha searching the Frozone mission. I know I'll have to do the alpha fishing mission eventually, but it's a future problem for a future me. Day 140 started with an execution, but it also started with me placing a dino leash down to keep my dinos from swimming away. You see, my dinos kept getting attacked by road megalodons and electric eels, and then they'd get pushed out the sea. And that's another thing, ocean platforms are really cool, but there's no way to protect your dinos from what's in the water. I wish there was some type of underwater gate or a way I could protect my dinos from them getting bombarded all the time. Anyway, moving on, I hatched another Tuso, and I wasn't thinking much of it. Oh! Yeah, don't mind those crazy weird noises I made while saying thank you. It was late and I was going crazy, but I finally had the good Tuso I needed. The entirety of day 141 was spent raising and then leveling my new Tuso. I got 100% imprint on it and it was genuinely insane. I cannot wait to have a whole army of these things. Day 142, I healed my Tuso up with my Daedon before I spread it. Yeah, I don't know why I healed it. I didn't even do a mission or anything. And yeah, I didn't even hatch the egg yet because I had some important business to attend to in the lunar biome. Day 143, and that important business is doing all 3 difficulties of the Tokyo Skift mission. And now with all that action in a single day, I spent the rest of the day raising a few more Rexes with the good help to keep building my army. Day 144 was an interesting day because I was simply doing the hide and sink mission, and I completed the mission, but then I was attacked by an electric eel and a megalodon, which I killed, but I lost track of my bloodstalker in the process. And I couldn't look for her or else I would drown, so I just had to float up to the surface. And yeah, on my ascent to the surface, dude soundly drowned. I have no idea where, but he was a good bloodstalker and he will be missed. Anyway, I swam my way back to my base and got my Tusos breeding again before organizing my new boss fighting Rexes towards the end of the day. The majority of day 145 was spent raising the last few Rexes I needed to complete my new boss army. And then the interesting part of day 145 is when I played Space Jam, basically throwing a boob dog into a basketball hoop in space. And since I was uncoordinated with this low gravity, I really struggled to even complete the Gamma one. I eventually finished all 3 difficulties about a third way into day 146, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty challenging. I even failed the alpha version once before finally completing it. And after that, I did the Gamma to Boldly Go mission, which is just a space version of collecting all those little blue points. And I just like to say this mission is horribly designed, because when I tried to get some of the points, I'd get hit by this green radiation stuff, and my Bloodstalker would take a lot of damage. Day 147, I did the beta and alpha to Boldly Go mission. I don't know why it took so long, but it did. I'm gonna group days 148 and 149 together because I hatched and raided 6 Tusos, and I also leveled them to about 100k HP and over 700 melee. Day 150, and I'm gonna fight the Gamma motor. I've healed up all my squids, and it's go time. That was insanely easy. Day 151, and as I said, the Gamma motor boss fight was insanely easy. However, I wanted to knock out the beta one in the next few days to just get it over with. But honestly, I was kind of worried about how it would go since the difficulty gap between Gamma and beta is pretty monstrous. Anyway, I spent the rest of day 151 and about half of day 152 raising and leveling Megalodons in the hopes that the bleed damage would absolutely destroy the motor. However, for the rest of day 152, it was fight night. Yeah, so I still managed to beat the motor with no deaths, but all of my dinos still took quite a chunk of damage, so I'm really gonna have to work on getting them better stats to beat the alpha one. The first part of day 153 was spent getting my underwater dinos back to my base because Tusos have a huge turning radius and I kept losing them. Anyway, after I got my Tusos organized, I flew up to base and crafted another ocean platform, and I wanted another ocean platform to house my Megalodons and try and keep them organized, but as soon as one would get attacked, it was just straight chaos after that. I could never keep them in the ocean platform. Days 154 and 155 I spent raising Megalodons. It wasn't fun, but it had to be done. Now, as I believe I said earlier, when you raise dinos and pump a lot of health into them, you gotta heal them with a Daedon. But the problem was, I would buy about 5,000 raw meat every time to heal with my Daedon, and I blew through literally all of my hexagons buying raw meat. So after doing a meat run with my Rex to only have my Daedon heal my underwater dinos with like 3k health each, I said screw this and I'm gonna do something else. And that something else is the alpha web search mission. Yeah, so I had to cancel the mission. I made it to the second fight only because in the first fight the Bloodstalker glitched and literally just didn't attack my Rexes. So now at this point I don't know what to do. I was using my best Rexes and Allos and I still wasn't even close enough to being able to take down the alpha Bloodstalker. And it's way too late in this video to try and get mutations on my Rexes and pump their stats up, so I have 2 options. One, I only do the boss fight on beta, which I know I set out to be all 6 maps on alpha, but it just isn't possible solo. And the second option is to recruit a few people and try and take down like 10 alpha missions and do the alpha boss fight. And honestly, even with multiple people, I don't see us be able to doing all the alpha missions and the alpha boss. So as much as I don't like it, I'm only gonna attempt to beat the map on beta as a solo. And if you don't like that decision, lick my nuts, dude. This is my video. Moving on, my Rexes still got their butt handed them even with me canceling the mission, so they'll be out of commission for a while. So I spent the rest of the day and half of day 158 leveling my boss Rexes by murdering baby Rexes. And for the rest of day 158, I spent it doing the beta chasing the white whale mission. And honestly, I'm kind of happy I don't have to do the alpha boss anymore, because I do not think my underwater dinos could take down any of the alpha hunting missions. Day 159, I finished the chasing the white whale mission and then did the locked and loaded mission on beta, and it went swimmingly. Get it? Because I'm swimming. I hate my life. The first half of day 160 was spent doing some general stuff around the base, but it is what happened in the second half that I think you guys really want to see. I did the beta bog beatdown, and if you remember from my first 100 days on this map, to say it lightly, I got my ass handed to me when I tried to do this mission. But don't worry, because I'm a pro now and took the mission down with relative ease. And after that, I made my way into the Arctic biome to do the beta built for tough mission. And the first wave was once again hard, but as soon as the second wave spawned, I got my hands on a cluster grenade launcher and it was all over. And I'd like to say it, I did it the American way. I finished the built for tough mission about a third of the way into day 161, and after that I got a few of my Rexes that were just lying around and then teleported into the bog, and I then did the Spino hunting mission, and the Spino actually put up somewhat of a fight, but he was still no match for my Rexes and Yudi. And after that I did the beta Swamp Placid mission, which is just hunting down a brute Sarco, and once again it was really easy. But after that I did the beta Along Came the Pollen mission, and this type of mission is super stressful. You either have to kill or harvest something, then escape with whatever you got, which is fine except you get swarmed by dinos and you only have like 2 minutes to escape. And if you've ever ridden a Rex in Ark, you know they aren't exactly designed for quick movement. So basically, if you get stuck or pinned in the corner, might as well cancel the mission right there because your Rex will not be able to turn around. But anyways, I did manage to complete the mission because I'm the best Ark player of all time. Day 163, I did some classic baby killing for levels and then stone harvesting at the end of the day. And don't worry, I'm not adding another extension to my base, more or less just finishing the past ones. Day 164, and by that I mean putting walls around my platform so it doesn't look terrible anymore. And I had to go through the pain of farming and placing these walls, but at least I don't have to go through the pain of editing this montage. That's reserved for my editor. Sorry, bro. This is not gonna be fun. Day 167, I was finally finished being Bob the Builder. And to celebrate that, I checked the volcano for element crystals, and there was actually some in there. I mean, there weren't a ton, but they were slowly respawning. And if I waited a little longer, there should be enough for me to harvest. Oh, and also I didn't show it, but I ate a mind wipe tonic during the building montage, and these are my stats now. Anyways, I'm more than 2/3 done in this 200 days, so it's time to really start cracking down on some missions. But I only started the Mammoths on Parade mission at the end of the day because I had to wait for a cryo timer to throw my Rexes out. Day 168, I completed the beta Mammoths on Parade and ruffled some feather missions. It was a good, simple, productive day. Day 169, I killed a brute deer and brute ferox, both on beta. And I also got a pretty decent Tuso saddle from one of these missions, which is pretty nice. Day 170, I was doing the Alpha Hide and Sync mission of hope of getting some more decent Rex saddles. I did manage to get some of those, but however, I also got some tragedy. I was collecting one of the blue points when a cyclone grabbed both hold of me and my Bloodsucker for a little bit. But it was all fine because the cyclone let go of me and the Bloodsucker, and I completed the mission. But I failed to realize my Bloodsucker was drowning and I couldn't make my way back up to the surface in time, and he bit the dust. So rip weight. You were a good Bloodstalker. So anyway, I had to swim to an island, teleport to Volcano East, and then teleport back into my base. But I won't let that stop me, because on day 171, I grabbed another Bloodstalker and leveled some oxygen into it, so that would not happen again. And just like that, I was once again doing the hide and sync mission until the end of the day. Now that I got a few more good saddles, I can get back to doing some more missions that'll actually further me towards doing the beta boss fight. And I only did the Gamma Hunt and the Heat mission in the entirety of the day, because I'm not gonna lie, it was actually kinda hard. All I had to do was hunt down a Magma Sword, but it was like over the volcano and through the woods, and it was just a big whole ordeal. Speaking of ordeals, I was doing the Gamma Hunt and the Heat mission on day 173, and it was going alright until I got gassed and lost all of my oxygen. And I was even spamming med brews, but it wasn't enough. I died and failed the mission. And now this is what we call a skill issue, my friends. But anyways, I made my way back to my stuff, restarted, and then completed the mission. And then after that, I did the Gamma We Will Rock You mission, where you hunt a rock. Day 174, I did the beta We Will Rock You mission, and doing all these missions make me want to quit Ark permanently and become a Minecraft YouTuber.
This is me, and this is Minecraft.
But I need money to keep feeding my cat, so I'll suffer through them. Anyway, after that, I did the beta One Hell of a Treasure Hunt mission, which is one of those missions where you have to escape with a prize. And this time around, there was an X-Triceratops skull, so yeah, it's pretty stressful just like the last time, but I got it done. Day 175, who hit the squid? No, I'm asking you, because I have to search and find it and kill it. And I did that twice, both on Gamma and Beta. Day 176 was pretty interesting. I was doing the Gamma, it's a bug hunt in the lunar biome. And in this one, you hunt Nameless, which I'm pretty sure aren't bugs. Maybe they're referencing Nameless as a glitch, as they aren't supposed to exist. Anyways, it was super easy until the last fight where a Brute Reaper came out of the ground to join the fight. And I didn't have a light pet or anything, so it was a long fight, and I had to throw out 2 extra Rexes just so I could kill it. Day 177, and I was pissed off, because once again, I attempted the Alpha Ice Fishing mission, and I failed, as you can guess. So yeah, screw that mission. I can't do it, I don't know why. It's not that I can't press the keys right, it's that there isn't enough fish. I'd catch one and then have to wait like another 3 minutes for another another to get on my line. Now, it's time to protect this little baby kangaroo right here. I brought another Rex this time since I failed the last time I attempted this on beta, and the baby died. But this time, the baby lived. It did not get aborted by a pack of dire wolves. But anyways, after that, I did the Mound Over Matter mission, which is also one of those where you have to escape with a prize. And I swear, I looked through basically every mound before I found the last golden nugget I needed and got absolutely bodied while escaping, but I made it. And I spent the rest of the day slowly throwing out my Rexes one by one to do some more hunting missions. And I spent literally all of day 179 doing the Alpha Dearly Departed mission, but I did it, and that's all that matters. Day 180, I was protecting a dolphin named Eco when I crashed, and I had to do the whole freaking mission over again. I also delivered some baby turtles to some bigger turtles on day 181, and they made weird noises when I did it, but hey, it's another mission down. Day 182, and I was doing the Technological Terror mission on Gamma, which is like Bog Beatdown or Built for Your Toe. And it's basically just a bunch of tech dinos and reapers trying to kill you, but as long as you get your hands on a tech rifle, you'll be fine. And then King of the Moon mission was up next, and it's basically just hunting a tech Rex in the lunar biome. And Gamma went down pretty easy, so I wanted to do the beta one, but I was running out of medical brews, which are a necessity in the lunar biome. So I returned to my base real quick to make some more medical brews, and then moved forward in the beta King of the Moon mission. Then on day 183, I was doing the Captain's Conquest mission. Gamma was super easy, but then I got absolutely deleted on beta. I'm pretty sure it was a glitch unless the space whales can actually one-shot you off your tame. I have no idea. But anyways, I respawned, got my stuff, and then started the mission over again, and it went much better. Day 184, I protected some parasaurs on Gamma and beta so they could get to this blue orb thing. Yeah, that's like the most pointless mission ever. There wasn't even another parasaur waiting for them or anything. I'm back in the lunar biome on day 185, defending this little bulldog while he gets his teleporter power. Yeah, that dude makes you spend like 10 minutes defending him, then teleports away, never to be seen again. That is until you do the beta mission. Then you see him again. Collecting blue points on day 186. Not much else to say. Day 187, I bred my Rexes to get a few extra levels on my boss Rexes because who knows, I might really need them. But more importantly, I took my skiff back into the volcano and there was finally a satisfactory amount of crystals I could harvest. Day 189 does not exist. I cannot find a video file for it. I think I was just farming elements since we picked back up on day 190 and I'm still farming elements, so yeah, it wouldn't be a Grantee 100 days video without me losing a day of recording. But speaking of day 190, yeah, I finished farming the element and proceeded to craft over 500 hard elements, so now I have way more than I ever need. Oh, and also the volcano was erupting while I was leaving and my Rex didn't make it into the teleportation by that time. But no worries, because I promptly left the biome before the volcano erupted and it reset and didn't erupt, and my Rex was still there when I got back. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky. Ark either has a really bad game design or single player settings carried me. But yeah, with that done, I'm pretty much ready for the boss. I just have to get myself organized and get a few more Beto saddles for my Rexes, which is what I did. Day 192, I cryoed and threw out all of my Rexes at my starter base. I emerged from the Gamma boss fight here almost 100 days ago. So once again, this is as good a place as any for me to do my last stand against Rockwell. Until Genesis 2. And the Rexes took until day 194 to wake up, and I had to heal a few of them to around 20k health, so yeah, the whole day was spent healing, because healing takes forever. Anyway, I'm just gonna skip to day 189 because I didn't do anything for the rest of those days. I've basically beaten the map on beta as a solo, and that's a pretty big accomplishment, and I'm pretty proud of that, but that doesn't mean anything if I don't beat this boss. And it'll be pretty embarrassing if I lose, because I set out to do all the maps on alpha, so I better not lose to just beta. Anyway, here goes nothing.
Hello? Hello? Wake up, survivor! Don't panic. All Little Ana's got ya. One sec. simulation. Welcome to the real world. The other survivors are still trapped in the simulation, but we're free. Bugger! The corruption's here too. Apparently it followed us from the simulation. But that's impossible. We might be the only ones awake. So let's get geared up and deal with the corruption before it spreads. It says here, tech suit for emergency use only. This definitely qualifies. Now that you aren't so squishy, we should figure out which part of the colony ship we're in. If we can just... Oh, that's not good at all! Well, fuck.
I forgot to turn the music on.